Okay, folks, we are trying out a new filming system, new recording devices, everything else. It's a little bit breezy out here today, so I'm kind of hoping that the wind noise doesn't pick up too much, or I'm talking over it enough to go ahead and let you hear what I'm saying. But like I alluded to in the prior video for the Jetboil Genesis, we bought a couple new pieces of gear. And this is going to be what we use in our cooking adventures going forward if it actually works out. We will probably in the next week or two make a trip out. We will cook a meal on between these pans and that new stove. And I don't know if we're going to cook something out of our normal rotation or if we will find something new and tasty to eat out in the woods. If we do, then there'll be a third video coming up under our just because you're camping doesn't mean you need to eat like a savage section. So stay tuned for that. So one of the main things that we were doing is we're trying to save weight and space in Adventures of Casey's Adventure Trek. Casey's mom tends to join us a little bit more often than she used to, and Casey's mom takes up a lot of space because Casey's mom likes to bring lots of stuff with us. And while we love having her with us, sometimes that can present a challenge. So we decided to start focusing on reducing the sheer volume of gear that we have and maybe cutting down a little bit of weight because we're already too damn heavy rolling down the road. Like I said in the last video, when we're fully loaded up, I think the last trip we did with Casey's mom, we were pushing 11,000 pounds on the scale. And that was including the truck, everything in it, all of our gear, all of her gear, 30 gallons of water, an extra full tank of diesel, 20 extra gallons of diesel, another 10 extra gallons of water. So, I mean, when we roll on a long trip, we roll heavy. And anything we can do to reduce that weight a little bit, maybe pick up half a mile a gallon, because diesel ain't cheap. And I don't care what the current politics say. Gas might be coming down, but diesel is still high as hell. So we need to try and save what we can when we can. Okay, so this is the GOSO Cookware 2-pan set. It comes with an 8-inch and a 10-inch, which, based on our cooking style, I think we're going to get by with. The 2 pans, they nest together. They have a removable handle. We'll cover that in just a little bit. The handle's interchangeable between either pan. And you also have the ability to buy a second handle if you don't want to go ahead and switch through them. But we're going to cover this handle in depth. Our biggest hang up on spending the money for these pans was the handle itself and how secure it actually attached to the pan. We've dealt with removable handles in the past, and we've had some disasters and had to go to backup plans for meals, and that was definitely a concern. But when we finally got this thing last night, we just played around with it, and the initial impressions are rock frickin' solid. So we're actually kind of excited to get out there and use these. So like I mentioned, weight savings is a concern or a goal in this particular project. So, we have our little scale here. Let's go ahead and turn on. And 2 pans with the handle come in at right around 4 pounds, 3 ounces. Now, in comparison, our cook set that we had before, this is the 4 vintage Wagnerware old school cast iron skillets, and these things have a seasoning on them like you wouldn't believe, and I don't let anybody else mess with them, clean them, or touch them when we're not camping. This is solely my project. Now, I would weigh them on here to show you, but they're both so damn heavy that it outweighs the scale. But just to give you an idea, we're already heavier there, and that's with a 6-inch and an 8-inch. We're right around 5 pounds, 2 ounces. And if we throw, sorry, I think that's probably a 4-inch, but this is an 8-inch and a 10-inch, and we're right at 9 pounds, 4 ounces. So right around 14 pounds, 6 ounces, if my math is correct, versus 4 pounds. So we're almost 10 pounds lighter on Just the GOSOs. So, like I mentioned, weight savings and space savings was a factor in our decision to go ahead and purchase these. But one of the biggest concerns I had, and why I put this purchase off as long as I did, was because I wasn't able to find very much information on how well that removable handle works. I've had removable handle cookware in the past, shit, 35, 40 years ago when I was still playing Boy Scout. And yeah, they never worked. Half the time they didn't grip. The handle wasn't secure. And more than once, I had a failure in camp, which basically caused me to go to a backup plan of a can of soup or whatever garbage was floating around to have a meal. So that's something that was very important to me, especially at the price. So GOSO sells this set for $199, and you get a 10-inch pan, an 8-inch pan, and one handle. So this is their handle. They're really, really proud of it. You can buy an extra handle. They want almost $75 for the frickin' handle. And I wasn't really ready to go that out of the gate for a couple reasons. Number one, didn't know if it was even going to work or if I was going to send this shit back today. Like I said, I just got it last night. Or number two, how much I actually really use two pans at the same time where I need a handle attached, where I'm sauteing two different skillets. That's kind of rare for me out in the woods. Usually most of my meals are one skillet meals. Occasionally I need a second skillet, but again, it's rare. Going forward, if this works out and these pans cook as well as they're supposed to, I may actually just foot the bill and buy a second handle, because sometimes getting out and the luxuries and stuff, they may not be cheap, but they're worth it. I spent 13 years as a grunt in the Marine Corps, and I've suffered enough out in the field, and now it's time for me to be old, fat, lazy, and relaxed. So basically the way this attaches is, we'll use the 8-inch for right now. Actually, you know what? Let's use the 10-inch because it's the heavier one, right? For our testing. So the way this attaches, you can see, handle opens up, comes down, and it clamps. And that's pretty fucking secure. Like, I'm shaking this thing. I beat it on the truck, whatever, and it's not coming anywhere. Additionally, it has this little bail that you can go and put over the top of the handle. And now it's spring loaded, and the handle actually just stays compact to the pan, and it feels really fucking sturdy too. So I'm going to try my best this next little demonstration, only hold this top part so that I'm not actually like squeezing it and adding additional force. So the only thing holding this handle to this pan right now is going to be the bail that they came with. And it's not moving. So that right there impresses me. So these pans probably won't go back. But that was, like I said, that was my biggest concern because I couldn't find information. I couldn't, they talk about on their website how secure it is, but there ain't no damn demos. But I mean, this thing is, it's pretty effing rock solid. So, hey, there we go. Win-win. And in the history of fucking stupid drunken ideas that I've done, this might be, close to the top end. But again, 16 penny nail, skillet, 4x4. Oh shit. All the way in. Nice and straight. Skillet, handle didn't move. I don't even really see, I see a little bit of a dent in the bottom of there. Might not have been the smartest idea, but it didn't come through to the middle or the front edge, so looks like it just scuffed it up a bit. But handle's still rock solid. Doesn't come off. So my biggest concern about this handle coming loose is not an issue. So there you go. So here's the 10-inch and the 8-inch on our stove. Go ahead and undo that. I could actually do it with one hand. That was kind of cool. open up the handle, and I can come over here, grab this skillet, move it around, saute, shake, do whatever, come back to this skillet. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the handle and the fit on both my stoves. So I think that this is actually going to work out. So one of the there's two different types of cooking that I like to do. I cook with carbon steel and I like to cook with cast iron. And cast iron has the advantage of just being cheap if you find them right. There's fancy cast iron out there, which is 1,000 times better than the current Lodge crap that they're putting out. Haven't been impressed with anything from Lodge that's been produced in the last 10 years, 15, maybe even 20. That's why when we camp and even in my home kitchen, we use vintage Lodge or vintage Wagner ware. Pretty much anything 1960 or older. It just has better casting. It's easier to season, and you get a better nonstick coating, which is the whole purpose of cast iron. Carbon steel, it can also season just like cast iron. Gives you that nonstick. You don't have PFAS or any of the forever chemicals in your food. I'm probably going to get cancer from 7 million other things out of the military first, so that's really not a concern for me, but some people it actually is. Both of them need to be seasoned. Now, these pans from GOSO, oh, can you see their logo? Anyway, these pans from GOSO are carbon steel. They are 100% unseasoned. So when you first get them, you're going to need to wash them with soap, hot water, get the packing oil off. I'm going to be doing that later today. And then you actually have to start a seasoning process. Now, cast iron will season a lot like, carbon steel seasons pretty much the same way as cast iron. One of the things that I've noticed over the last several years is both will season very well. Both will give you the same performance. However, the seasoning tends to be a little bit more robust on the cast iron. Carbon steel is a little more delicate because it's such a smooth surface to get a good seasoning on it. You have to work a little bit more to get that initial seasoning, but once you get it, it's solid. I mean, I'm cooking, $50 steaks on my carbon steel at the house right now. The other thing, the advantage that carbon has over cast iron is because it's thinner, it tends to heat up quicker. So if you're trying to sear something or whatever, it'll use less fuel and heat up a little bit faster on the go, which will let you cook a little bit better. And with us dropping down on our BTUs for our go-to camp stove, that may be an advantage. And again, like I alluded to earlier, we will see the next camp trip. I fully plan on running these things through the ringer. So that being said, so far our initial impressions on these things are freaking awesome. I'm kind of happy with the purchase. Now, let me get into just one last little thing. This is October of 2026, and American politics are retarded. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on, or if you're on the spectrum at all. But tariffs and things, they're real. They happen. So when I first looked at these, they were $199 for the set with the handle, and I'd put it off and saved it. And about a month ago, I went to go ahead and order them because I had some extra cash. And when I did, I noticed a $58 tariff fee to import them because GOSO is based in Canada. I was a little irritated. I decided not to make the purchase, and then a couple weeks later, the tariff fee was down to about $11, which I consider somewhat reasonable, considering our current environment, and I went ahead and ordered them. So if you do log on, you try and order these things, and the tariff fee is high, give it some time. Things will settle down eventually, and get the deal you need, unless you think they're just that awesome, and then spend the money. It's your money, not mine. Another thing that I want to point out is they do sell all sorts of wazoo kits with seasoning butter and some pads that fit in between the pans, so that way when you're storing them, they don't wear the scratching off. I got probably, I don't know, 2-3 actual square yards of heavy not buckskin, rawhide, heavy rawhide, that I'm just going to cut a couple circles and put under there. So I saved a few bucks that way. The other thing that is actually kind of funny to me is they advertise that these pans, the actual steel portion itself, all right, is manufactured by a company in Wisconsin that has been doing carbon steel for like a century or some crazy shit. And it just blows my effing mind that the product that I want to buy is made in the US, shipped to Canada, because that's where the company is, and then I got to pay a tariff to get it back here. It just seems ridiculous. But, you know, I digress, and that's about all I'm going to get into the politics of it. So my bottom line is these are actually good to go, and I'm going to go ahead and give them a preliminary thumbs up, not a full-on endorsement until I get out there and cook. The thing is this: if you can cook in cast iron, you can cook in carbon steel. I'm not going to try and teach you how to cook. I can't do that. I've been doing it for years, and that's not really my intent here. So, you know, if you consider yourself a decent cook, then go ahead and knock it out. Now, me, I consider myself a good cook. All right, I'm not fat because I'm lazy. I'm fat because I know how to fucking cook, and well, it is what it is. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and give these things a thumbs up. Not a full-on endorsement, but pretty damn close, because after beating on them on the tailgate and playing with that handle and seeing how secure it is, I really don't know if I'm going to find anything wrong with the pans. Now, the stove, that's a whole other story. But these pans right now, I'm happy. And yeah, they seem a little bit steep, you know, but you're going to pay $200 for a Stargazer skillet, you know, or $150 for one. And don't get me wrong, Stargazers are good. I have one. I just don't, I want to buy a couple more. I just don't take them camping with me. So, yeah, there you go. If you're looking for quality cookware on your camping adventures, then I would venture to say at this point, give GOSO a shot if you can get it the pricing right in between all the political nonsense that's going on between the US and Canada right now. Other than that, stay tuned. We'll get you a cooking video coming up, or at least a final product review. I'll probably combine the GOSO cookware with the Genesis stove in that review. And yeah, get out and fucking adventure.